my name is Diana Castro and you're watching Leaders with a Mission. And today I have someone super special that you must know in case of emergencies. His name is Manny Pozo, and let me tell you a little bit about him. Manny is the founding partner and president of BioResponse Restoration, a restoration company in Miami, Florida, specializing on water, biohazard restoration, mold assessment, and remediation services for residential, commercial, and government. He's an amazing person that you should meet definitely in case of emergency. So, with that said, here's Manny Pozo.
Hello. Hi, Diana. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, Manny. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us.
Yes, I'm sure my phone's back there ringing somewhere going crazy, but I got somebody covering.
So I want you to tell me a little bit more about BioResponse and how did you ended up in this business? How did everything start?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, they end up in a place much different than, you kind of expected, right? As a kid, I never grew up saying, I want to be a crime scene cleaner or a biohazard specialist. But the story was I was working in pharmaceuticals. I was working at a big pharmaceutical company. I wore suits every day. And a friend of mine, a fireman, came to me, and this is over 13 years ago. He came to me with this great business idea. Everybody has these great ideas, and his was, hey, let's be crime scene cleaners. And I told him, you're crazy. You're absolutely nuts. There's no way I'm going to do that. I wear suits. I don't clean. Right. And but that little idea kept striking a chord. I did a little bit of research. There was no crime scene cleaners in Miami. Imagine, Miami, a crime capital at one point in the world, and we don't have a crime scene cleaner. So obviously, going back to business school, you look at supply, demand, and it just seemed like that made sense. And when we started the company, I was very honest with him. I told him, hey, I don't do the cleaning. I'll do business. I'll do everything having to do with the business. He made the promise to me that I would never, ever clean. I also told him I will never see a dead body. And he says, of course, never. By the time we get there, there's no dead body.
I swear. And then? And
then, of course, we open our business, and like all great new businesses, we don't get a call for 3 months. And this was always a side business. So it was fine, we're okay, but we were starting to get worried. Are we ever gonna get called? Finally, we get a call, and that call comes on Thanksgiving. So on Thanksgiving, he goes, hey, great news. We got our first job. I'm like, yes! I was already half a bottle into this Thanksgiving holiday. And I was like, yes, we got our first job. And I took another swig of the wine to celebrate. And he goes, bad news is that all those employees that we trained 3 months ago, none of them are answering the phone. I need your help. I'm like, wait a minute. You told me I would never. He goes, don't worry, I'll go in. You don't have to do anything. Just come with me. I was like, okay, fine, let's go. We're gonna go. So now that first job is in Coconut Grove. We go there. It's Thanksgiving. I'm kind of excited about the fact that my business finally has a customer. I'm a little concerned, or very concerned, that I'm about to walk into a potential crime scene. It was a suicide. So it wasn't a crime scene, but it was a suicide. And we go through beautiful Coconut Grove. We're looking for the address. We're a little bit lost. I'm looking for police, I'm looking for lights, I'm looking for activity, and I see nothing. And I'm like, I think it's right there. And are you sure? Yes, it's right there. And then at that point, we see an older lady and a younger lady, and they're crying. And at that point, I realized that I never considered that, right? It never came to mind, the human side of this business, right? It was all about money and investments, and is there a potential market for this? And at that point, I realized that I had just opened up Pandora's box to a new world. And then when we approached the family and we asked them, where are the police? They're like, well, the police haven't gotten here. So we were so excited about our first job that
it's called really rapid response.
Yeah, that's as rapid as it gets, right? I mean, the police are a little busy too on Thanksgiving as well with their families, but in the end, we're like, whoa. And I looked at them and I said, hey, so the body's still in there? And at that point they said yes. And I look at my partner, I'm like, the two things you told me I was not going to have to do, I'm going to do today, right? So again, I realized then that life was about to change, and it surely did change for me.
That's very, I remember when you told that story at one point when we actually met in BNI.
Yeah.
And I heard your story, and it was is vivid in my brain, like just thinking of you like walking in and like, I'm not supposed to be seeing this.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be cleaning this.
Yes.
What the hell did I just put myself into?
I really had no idea what I was walking into. Which, by the way, this is a vital lesson for anybody looking to open a business. If you put rules to things that you won't do, get ready because you're about to do them. Don't put rules. You do what you have to do to succeed and to survive.
Yeah, definitely. So let me talk about that
Sure.
because it really drives into leadership. Right now, you guys are actually doing so many new things as well. Like your business has grown. This was about, what, 13 years ago?
Yeah, that's where we started, yeah.
So now you guys are not only doing just like suicide and even like crime scene investigation. I even from our work or doing the video, I know that you guys also do hoarder pickup stuff. You guys do, you know, when there's mold. So tell me a little bit more about what, what are you guys now?
So we really, and that's the reason why you hear the company's called BioResponse. And it was BioResponse Corp at the time. Now it's BioResponse Restoration because we were doing anything having to do with biohazard, right? Like I mentioned earlier, crime scenes, anything having to do with blood, we picked up. And we still have a Miami-Dade County contract and various other contracts where we clean up biohazardous situations. But a little over 5 years ago, we were getting pulled into another market, which is a much bigger market and really is now represents about 90% of our business, which is the water, fire, and mold restoration industry, which is a different yet similar type of situation. Rapid response is still needed, personal protective equipment and your clients, your employees being protected, having protocols in place. So once we saw that there was this kind of mirror industry, and again, the government was asking us to start doing some of this work, that's when we went all in and started doing that. And like I said, now it's really 90% of our business. We still are experts and probably the top company in Miami and South Florida for biohazard situations, but we also do water, mold, and fire restoration.
And even recently, you guys added this new service for like temporary roofing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
like any other business, like any other person, you adapt. And we were out there after the hurricane. We realized that the roofers were busy. We realized that there was homeowners that had holes in their roofs and didn't have ways to protect themselves, to really give you a temporary until that roofer can come out there and change the roof. So we created a new, and that's really, something that we believe in is being innovative, even in a field that doesn't feel like it can be innovative. We found this new technology called shrink wrap. So instead of the blue tarps, we had this white plastic that forms around your roof. It lasts longer, it looks a lot better, and is also covered by insurance. So, we continue to adapt just like all other businesses do.
Beautiful. So with that said, let me ask you, what is leadership for you? What is the definition of leadership?
So, I knew this question was going to come. So, it's a hard one, right? It's like, what's the meaning of life, right? What's leadership? When you're the president of a company, you're always, you're the leader, right? But for me at least, leadership is a byproduct really of my vision, right? I have a vision, me and my partner have a vision, we as a company has a vision. And so to get to that vision, somebody has to lead, somebody has to take it. And sometimes leadership is creating that vision, right? So for me, really, the leadership is in the vision. And then how can you inspire others to join you for the ride, right? Where it's not about how much am I going to pay you or what the fringe benefits are. It's like, do you have the same vision as I do? Are you coming on board for where we're going, right? We're there. We have, our vision is very clear. It's helping people during these tough times, right? Disasters, whether it's their home that's been affected or unfortunately if they have lost a loved one, we're there for them, right? So part of that vision is being a part of the community and helping our community get through these tough times, right? And working them through the process. But there's also the business vision, right? Of where we're going. Is Miami the end? No, absolutely not. We've got plans that are going to take us to other markets. We're talking to other countries now that don't have these markets, and so that's a long way of saying that leadership for me is part of getting people on board on your vision.
And a bigger vision. So one of the things that strikes me about you, and I think it's a common denominator in the people who I feel like are drawn to for productions, is that I would say 99.9% of the people we serve are very soulful and very mindful and very human-like. and it's something that I think it resonated when we were talking about how you serve and how you do business and what you guys value, and what drives forward the values of your business. It kept coming up how you guys are so invested in the people and how you can make a difference for the people, because a lot of people that are going through those tough times, they're worried about the financial aspect of it. And a lot of people would walk away because, oh, you cannot afford this, and peace out, or, oh, is the insurance going to take longer? Is your insurance not going to cover it? I find that you guys have a different approach, and it's a more soulful, humane, and empathetical way of doing things. How do you guys
I think the key word you said there was empathetical, right? It's part of my nature, it's part of our company culture, which is empathy, right? These are people. They're people like me and you. They're people that have families, that have homes, that are going through these disasters, right? During the hurricane, I witnessed people that had lost their homes, right? I mean, most of us down in South Florida weren't that affected by the hurricane, but there were a lot of people. And so, what's that?
In the Keys.
In the Keys, yes, exactly. So we would drive down to the Keys, and not even that far, Coconut Grove, Key Biscayne, Westchester. I mean, all throughout the community, there were people that were affected by this. And they don't know the process. They don't know what the technical process of how we're going to restore your home, keep your house safe, but then the insurance and all these other things. And whether it's us or getting them in the hands of other people that we trust as well, that have that same empathy and same culture, like both of our companies have. And values, it's really about having a holding hand, right? And being communicative with them and walking them through the process. All these different processes they're gonna go. But in the end, like when you go to a doctor, like when you go to a police and there's a situation, you just wanna know that everything's gonna be okay, right? So it goes back to that vision. Now it's, hey, client, jump on board. This is our vision. Yeah. You'll be back. You'll be back. Your home will be back. You'll be back to normal. All right. And our tagline is calling us as the first step to moving on. So whether, again, it's a biohazard situation or whether it's a
restoration,
a home restoration, we're the first step, right? We know that there's a lot of other things that need to happen, but we should be your first step.
Yeah. So thank you for doing that, because I think that in an industry that is very much driven by the bottom line, you guys seem to have this way of touching hearts and being more human and being empathetic. And it's kind of like, it goes back to the golden rule: do to others as you would like to do for yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's one of the core values you guys hold front and center.
Thank you. I've been very fortunate. I had like a dual career for a long time there, right? I had identity crisis, but I was a sales person working in medical devices for many years, while at the same time having this company, right? So I'm walking into ORs, selling heart valves, seeing people that are being, carted off to do heart surgery and hoping that they come out alive, right? So I was able to see that and find purpose in that, right? I'm part of this process to make this person live and have their families have them. And then on this other side, I also have purpose by helping these people really recover, just simply be a part of the recovery for them.
So I want to ask you something, because we've had like one-to-ones, because part of the process of BNI is kind of like meet people, but not only through like the business, surface of it. It's more of like who you are. But one of the things that has struck about me is that you love reading, and one of the things that personal growth is really important to you. So here's the question.
Yes.
What are your top 3 books that you highly recommend people
Wait a
that
minute.
must
read?
In
the prep, I must say to the audience, in the prep you told me what's my top book. Now you're saying 3? But
I have to get the most out of you that I have you in here.
You got me on my toes. The thing is, the hard part about liking to read is that it's hard to narrow it down. Top book though, for sure, and no ands, ifs, or buts about it. And I say that because I was ready for that question, which is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covington. Without a doubt, it's my Bible, right? I found it when I was 20-something years old. I got out of college. I think I had it all figured out. I realized that I didn't have it figured out, right? I needed my own manifesto. I needed my own way of creating order to chaos, which is life, right? Especially the business world. And it really allowed me to gave me that focus, right? Of what are the areas that I need to improve. It's something that almost yearly I open up. If you go next to my bed, there it is, like the original copy. It's yellow, it's starting to get old, not to date myself too much, but it's old, and I just pick it up. Like,
it has character.
Absolutely. Have you ever heard this, that people that when they want to ask God something, ask the question, open the Bible. If you're a Christian, you open the Bible and there's the answer, right? For me, You know, Stephen Covington does that for me when it comes to my business world, and not just business world, life in general. It's there. You know, the other two books are tough because they kind of like, as soon as you read them, they kind of come in. So right now I'm reading a book called 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. Great book. Simple rules, but not simple explanations. Very intellectual, very deep. Yeah, and that's an excellent book. And then at that point too, the book that I always reference it, reference it to you, it's called The Flow State, the Rise of Superman, which talks about the flow state. So besides the, you know, emotional mumble jumble state of mind type of stuff, you need a little bit of understanding of how the body works, how your brain works, right? So you can utilize it in the proper manner to get you in the state that you need. That's why, for instance, Anthony Robbins. Tony Robbins is a big guy in my life, motivator, but not just motivator, he's a teacher, because he taught me that the physiology leads the psychology.
Success has physiology as
Absolutely,
well.
right? So it's the power
how your
poses,
body,
and that includes the food that you eat, the exercise that you do, the people that you surround yourself with, things like that. So yeah, I hope I answered it.
That was deep. That was good.
Yes, I can get much deeper, but not in 15 minutes.
So just to close then, what kind of impact do you want to leave in the world? What do you want people to remember you by?
You know, obviously I want my company to and through my company is the avenue in which that I hope to impact as many people as possible. So helping them move on with their lives or whatnot. But honestly, you know, forget the company, forget business, forget career. There's no doubt that my children are the lasting impact, right? They're the ones that when we're gone, they're gonna take what we taught them and take it out to the world. So if I can make the greatest impact in their lives, by giving them the sense of security that they're loved, number one, and that they'll always be loved whether I'm here or not here, but also that that life, it's fun. It's fun. You gotta live with passion, and that there's no boundaries, right? There's no boundaries. There's so many people I meet every day that think that there's some sort of boundary, that there's only so far they can get because they were born from here, or this happened to them, or that happened to them. I want my kids to know that there is no boundary. There is no, if it's been achieved, you can achieve it. And if it hasn't been achieved, perhaps you can, right? So if I can take them into the world to live way beyond me, and hopefully they teach that to their children, then that, I think, is the ultimate impact that I can make. And as far as my company, obviously we want to help as many people as possible.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
So much.
Thank you.
Don't leave me hanging here. Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask my audience to please look him up. So Manny, where can we find you?
So on Facebook, you have BioResponse Restoration. On website, you have BioResponseCorp.com. And then obviously, if you just want to be my friend, Manny Pozo, make sure it's not my dad. He looks a little older than me, but he's on Facebook too, and he has the same name. So, and much different feed, by the way.
Awesome. And for those of you who would like to make a bigger impact and position your business or yourself as a leader in the marketplace, I'm going to invite you to visit us at forproductions.com, where if you subscribe, you'll receive weekly updates on how to leverage the power of video to make a bigger impact. Till next time.